Good morning. Parole Board's call to order. Time is 8:36. My name is Pete Freeman. I'll be the acting chair. To my right is Ms. Stapleton, joining us on Zoom.
And they're on.
Ms. Ledoux. Okay, so we'll start off. We are at CATAHOULA Correctional. Mr. Gidding, state your name and DOC number.
Christopher Gidding, 5389992.
Okay. Would staff at headquarters introduce yourself?
Yes, sure.
Okay, and is there anybody in there with you, Mr. Gidding?
No, sir.
Okay. All right, Mr. Gidding, do you have your parole questionnaire with you?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you realize you're not eligible for appointed counsel. If you wanted counsel, you would have to retain it.
Yes, sir.
Want to proceed today without appointed counsel?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Your case has been assigned to Ms. Stapleton. So Ms. Stapleton, take it away.
Good morning, sir. I'm
Good
gonna
morning.
go over your rule violations.
Yes,
And
sir.
you're gonna plead
Yes, ma'am.
guilty. You're gonna plead guilty, not guilty with a statement, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, at your revocation hearing on 1/13/2026, in lieu of revocation, the board ordered you to complete a work release program. You failed to comply with the orders of the parole board in that you did not satisfactorily complete work release due to rule violations, number 1, contraband, scale, and then number 14, intoxication. How do you plead?
Ma'am, I plead guilty to the intoxication and not guilty to the contraband because it was a poor and disrespectful way to honor. My dad died, and I used it as a poor excuse to get high.
Okay, well, all I can do is read what they said. This was your disciplinary report, okay? And I'm
Yes,
very
ma'am.
sorry about your dad.
Yeah,
Very
thank you.
sorry.
Thank you.
Christopher Gidding, stumbling as he walked down the hallway and passed by me to get to his dorm. Offender Gidding is housed in blah, blah, blah. Observing his unsteady movement, I approached Gidding, who had just laid down in his bunk, and instructed him to stand up. As he attempted to get up, I observed that his motor function and coordination was impaired due to his intoxicated condition, which you just pled guilty to.
Yes,
It was
ma'am.
deemed unsafe to handcuff him at the time. I assisted offender Gidding upright and escorted him to the rear of the CO office, where he was pat searched, secured in handcuffs and seated. Due to his erratic gestures and failing to properly communicate, EMS was dispatched, and after, oh gosh, okay.
Yes.
And after the assessment, offender Gidding was cleared to be transported to West Baton Rouge Detention Center. Offender Gidding's bunk was searched and clothes were packed before he was escorted to West Baton Rouge. In the offender's bunk, a small piece of off-white wax-like paper bordered with blue lines. Photos and videos were taken and submitted to my superior officer. This offender is in violation of DOC and West Baton Rouge Transitional Work Program rules and regulations. There is nothing further to report at this time.
Yes, ma'am.
So how do you still plead not guilty or guilty?
I still plead guilty to intoxication, but I don't know what he found on my rack, but there wasn't nothing on my rack. This was the one and only time that I did anything. Whatever they found on my rack, I know wasn't anything.
Okay, well, I'm gonna ask my other board members if they have questions.
We have no questions. I have no questions. I'm sorry.
No questions. Ready to vote.
Okay, Mr. Gidding, based upon the fact that you did plead guilty to intoxication, you are in violation of rule
It's just-
number 14. And so you have been revoked today.
Ms. Ledoux?
My vote is to revoke.
Okay, I mean, we tried to send you there, Mr. Gidding. I'm sorry about your father, but you didn't make the program, so we have no alternative to revoke you today. So good luck to you.
Can I ask a question?
Okay, we're now at AVOYELLES Correctional Center. My name is Pete Freeman. I'm the acting chair. To my right is Ms. Stapleton. On Zoom is Ms. Ledoux. We're here now for a hearing on Kaylee Cooper. Ms. Cooper, please state your name and DOC number for the record. Wait, you're on mute, Ms. Cooper. You're on mute.
Kaylee Cooper. I don't even have my papers on me. 770962, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, ma'am, that's correct. Okay, Ms. Cooper, did you have a parole questionnaire that you filled out?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and it did say that you were eligible for appointed counsel. Matter of fact, your appointed counsel is Mr. Matthew Foster. I think he's logging in with us right now. Is that
Yes,
correct?
sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, let's wait on Mr. Foster and then we will conduct your hearing, okay?
Okay.
I will tell you to bring that questionnaire
I
with
know.
you.
I know. I was sleeping.
You knew this. Like you wake up on time. It's called responsibility.
Yeah, I know, but I didn't grab it.
Okay, Mr. Foster, I hear you have joined us now. Would you state your name for the record? Mr. Foster, you're on mute.
I apologize. It's Matthew Foster on behalf of Miss Kaylee Cooper.
Okay, Mr. Foster, you can intervene at any time if you want to help out your client or whatever. We're going to read her violations and see how she pleads and get her explanation today, okay?
Yes,
Ms.
Your Honor.
Stapleton, the case was assigned to you, so take over.
Hey, Ms. Cooper, you were in violation of rule number 4 in that on 1/23/26, you committed the offense of simple obstruction of the highway and introduction of contraband in a penal institution. A parole hold was placed on 1/24/2026. Offender charge bill 3/30/2026. No dates have yet been has set for a pretrial or a jury trial. Do you plead guilty for obstruction in the highway? Because it said that you were sitting in the highway and you were in a impaired state of mind. And then they found pills in your purse, which was trazodone and a pipe. You plead guilty to that or not guilty?
Yes, ma'am. Guilty.
Guilty.
Cooper, ma'am, if I may interject for a second, while I understand she's trying to plead guilty, it'd be against my interest that I had told her yesterday. We had spoke about that. They do have a trial set for, I think, the 28th of June. At
Yes,
the
sir.
moment, that was set yesterday.
Okay.
On this, I don't think the pipe or none of that was ever tested, and it was actually destroyed. I saw it in the report, but I never saw where there was a test. And then the other issue, I apologize, but the other issue is the fact that I understand there was some Suboxone or something like that, but it was just recently tested, and I saw a picture of it yesterday. And my understanding from what I'm told, she had a script at one point. Now I haven't been due to HIPAA. I need to get with her to try to get a copy of that. Now I might agree that she was, inhibiting the it's a little country road, but she, technically she was obstructing the roadway. But on the other charges, I worry about it because it'll affect her as far as consecutive time or possible consecutive time.
What
And I
about
think she needs more.
she was dancing in the roadway because of intoxication?
Ma'am, like I said, there was no video that I was given to say that, that she was intoxicated. There was no test given as far as blood tests, urine tests, a breathalyzer. He just wrote our citation and he said, and I think, my client's right here, and I think it was more of a mental condition due to other things, but that were affecting her.
So are you asking for a continuance until after the trial? Is that what you're suggesting?
I would suggest that, ma'am, because I understand she wants to get it over with, but I don't think she fully understands that if she pleads guilty, it subjects her to a possible consecutive term.
I understand.
It does, and it does do that.
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
and that's my concern. And like I said, I don't know, with the state, with the IDB, I don't know if they would pay for somebody to interview her. Like, I know they won't send her to Dr. Semino or nothing, but between that and if I could at least have the opportunity to try to see if there was a script out there. Because like I said, I just saw the sheet yesterday as far as that there was a positive on that one.
Okay, let's go back to Ms. Cooper. Okay, Ms. Cooper, your attorney thinks it's in the best interest for you to delay this hearing to after your court date, and I truly understand what he's saying. So, do you want to go with what he is saying, and let's wait and let's let you go to court, and then we'll finish up?
Yes, sir.
All right, Ms.
Thank you.
Cooper. Okay, the attorney has moved for a continuance. We need to take a vote on it. My vote is to grant. Ms. Ledoux?
I will vote to continue the case until after the trial.
Okay, and Ms. Stapleton?
And my vote is to continue the case until after the trial set at 6/22/28/26.
Okay, so that's what we're gonna do, Ms. Cooper, and I do think it's in your best interest. So,
Okay.
we'll reschedule you, okay?
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yes. All right, Kaylee. All right, bye.
I mean.
Mic test. Good morning. We're now at Rapides Detention Center. My name is Pete Freeman. I'm the acting chair. To my right is Miss Carol Stapleton, and joining us on Zoom is Miss Ledoux. Also today we have the revocation hearing on Bill Esther. Mr. Esther, will you state your name and DOC number?
My name Bill Esther, DOC number 109480.
Okay, 109480. That's it. Okay, also see you're represented by appointed counsel. Mr. Gilliott, would you make your appearance for the record, please?
Yes, sir. Chad Gill, bar roll number 33873, appointed counsel for Bill Esther.
Okay, Mr. Gilliott, anytime you want to interject anything during this hearing, please just do so, okay?
Thank you.
I'm gonna read the violations, Mr. Esther, and you're to plead guilty or not guilty, and you can give us your explanation, okay? As to what happened.
Yes.
All right, first off, I will submit a monthly report by the 5th of every month until I complete my supervision. I will also report to my parole officers when ordered to do so. It is alleged you have not reported since your technical revocation on 2/4/25. How do you plead to that charge?
I plead guilty to.
Okay, you got any statement? I see that you were living in a shelter, it looks like.
Yes, sir. I was living in a shelter when I was at work release. And I kept my job, stayed out here and kept my job. Cause I'm from Shreveport. And I kept my job out here because I liked my job.
Mm-hmm.
And so all of me, I went to the shelter. I wanted to stay out here and to live out here to keep my job. And they I'm going to see her like I supposed to. They took me to see her, and everything was doing good. Everything I was doing all right. But
Okay.
my job, I let them know that I couldn't read and write. I was little. So they still work with me. They still help me work. And I like, they liked me. And I wind up where I work at, the shelter that I'm staying at, Global Impact, they church is right there where I work at.
Mm-hmm.
And I got paid every week. I get paid every week.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the men that work there, they want to kick me out because I didn't pay. But I didn't get paid yet. I just got out. I'm trying to get everything stipulated. So
Yes, sir.
I ain't
Understand.
and I've been scuffing with my literacy problem all my life.
So, Mr. Esther, fast forward to why you didn't report. That's what he's asking.
I didn't report because they kicked me out. I couldn't go. I
Gotcha.
ain't know how to get to them.
All right. Well, let's we're gonna talk about a few things. All right, let's go to violation number 3. It's pretty much the same thing. I will live and remain at the address. If I move from this address, I'll get permission from a parole officer. In addition, I will not leave the state of Louisiana without written permission from my parole officer. Is it pretty much the same explanation? You were living in that home and then they put you out. And why did they because you couldn't pay because you hadn't got paid?
Yes, sir.
Is that about the gist of it, counsel?
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay, and then number 4, you will not engage in criminal activity, associate with people who are engaged in criminal activity, avoid bars and casinos, and refrain from illegal drugs or alcohol. They say you violated this in that you have engaged in criminal activity as evident by your arrest on 4/1/25 for committing the offense of possession of CDS Schedule 2 counts, resisting an officer and aggravated assault. How do you plead to that charge?
I plead guilty to it. Cause,
Let me ask you this, Mr. Esther, how long were you in work release before?
I was in work release, I left out of work release about 2000, about 2003, both of them.
I was just asking, how long had you stayed there in work? Release?
In work release, I stayed there just, I went there,
Just trying to figure out how long you was in work release. About how long were you in work release?
I said, about 9 months, around about 9 months.
Save up a little money while you was in there?
Yes, sir, I did. Yes, sir, I did. I liked it.
I mean, we don't have much alternatives here. I'm just going through in my head. I mean, we can revoke you for the drugs because you pled guilty. But I'm just thinking of some things in my mind. I have no further questions. Any of my colleagues got any questions?
Well, I would like to make note that Mr. Esther was released on parole 7/26 of 23. So the fact that he did well for a little while, that was back in 23. He actually had a technical revocation in 25. And so he had some problems, shall we say, adhering to supervision rules. And the things that were dropped, and he was able to plead down to a lesser charge. If I read the report correctly, he actually had a knife when he confronted the individual. So, I mean, I think that, I think I'm tracking where you are, Mr. Freeman, and would go with that. But there were, those situations. It wasn't as clear cut as not having resources. So just
I
noted.
definitely understand your concerns.
One thing I'd like to add, if you don't mind, is on the knife part. I think in the report, the knife was never. It was in a sheath. It never came out of the sheath, from what I understand. There might have been some dispute as to what was going on at that moment, but I think it never was out of the sheath. But according to the victim, in that case, he did. I don't know if I say threaten, but he had the knife, there. But I think the allegation was there was some property that was she was living in an abandoned house. He was living in an abandoned house, and I think the accusation was she was taking his property, and that there was a
Okay.
Yeah.
The possession of a knife in and of itself is a violation.
Right.
Thank you.
Okay. Well, is the panel ready to vote? I'm ready to vote.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Ms. Ledoux?
Yes, and I don't know where you're going with that, but the opportunity to be in work release would be a good opportunity, I believe, because he did well there. So
Yeah, that's where I'm headed. Mr. Esther, your problem is you got no money, you got no place to stay. You did good in work release last time, so obviously you can survive in work release. My vote today is going to be, in lieu of revocation, to send you back to work release for 6 months. Save up your money and be looking for a place to stay, okay?
Yes, sir.
You're a permanent resident, so you're going to end up right here back in front of us again. Okay? And I'm going to tell you, the only reason I'm doing this is because you've already spent a year in jail. So, I think you've gotten your punishment for what you did on the outside. So that's my vote today. Ms. Ledoux?
I concur. I would like to stipulate that if the work release has some type of substance abuse treatment that he can avail himself to, that would be helpful, and that he be released, and the stipulation that he continue substance abuse on the outside, since we won't see him again before he's released.
Good, substance abuse.
Okay, and Mr. Esther, I agree with my colleagues. I know how people that are homeless, and I know that it's a daily struggle for them. So I know that that's what you're going through. And the drugs, the substance abuse treatment, that's going to help you out. And please avail yourself to that. And I wish you every good fortune. And I hope you find a good, steady place to stay. And you have to follow the rules because I know it's very strict out there for you.
Okay. All right, Mr. Esther, good luck to you. Thank you, attorney, for coming on.
Thank you all. Thank you all. Take care.
Hi, good morning, Mr. Dennis. Please state your name and DOC number for the record, please, sir.
Jaylen Dennis, 741-381.
Okay, Mr. Dennis, you're here today for your final revocation hearing in front of the board. My name is Pete Freeman. I'm the acting chair. With me is Ms. Ledoux and Ms. Stapleton. Do you have your parole questionnaire in front of you?
No, sir.
Okay, could y'all put it up on screen for me, please? Is that your handwriting and your signature?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you realize you're ineligible for appointed counsel. If you want counsel, you'd have to hire it.
Yes, sir.
Do you have counsel or do you want counsel?
No, sir.
Okay, so we're going to continue with the hearing. We also have speaking on your behalf, Stacy Dennis and Jeremy Dennis. I'll let them speak at the proper time. Okay, first off, we're going to read your violations and then you're to plead guilty or not guilty, and you can with or without a statement. Okay, the first violation is condition number 4, that I will not engage in any criminal activity, associate with people who are known to be involved in criminal activity, and avoid bars and casinos. I will refrain from illegal use of drugs or alcohol. You fail to refrain from this conduct evident by your arrest by the Pineville Police Department on 12/14/2024 for the violation of a court order. It is alleged that during the event leading up to the arrest, you attempted to engage in a physical altercation, excuse me, with the significant other of Kaylee Brister, who you were ordered by the 9th Judicial District Court in the original sentencing guidelines to stay away from. The altercation ended by shots being fired at the boyfriend in Kaylee's car by another individual who you arrived on the scene with. How do you plead to that charge?
Not guilty.
Okay, tell me what happened.
I went to the store in my neighborhood, and her and her boyfriend pulled up on me, and somebody I was walking to the store with and pulled a gun on us, but they got a police report from a few weeks prior to that. They pulled up at my mom's house. I wasn't there though, but they threw eggs at the car and shot guns in the air. So, but I just wanted to be known that her dad's the major Rapides Parish detective, so I never obstructed no court order. She's the one obstructing it, but nothing's gonna happen to her because of who her dad is.
Okay, well, all right, let's go on to condition number 6. I'll work at a job approved by my parole officer. If I become unemployed, I will immediately report this to my parole officer. You failed to provide proof of gainful employment. How do you plead to that charge?
Let's see. I got a job now. My brother works on a tugboat. He got a job ready for me, but I'll be gone 28 days and only be home 14 days at a time. So I really think that's the best situation for me.
Okay. Number 10 was your supervision fees. You're $189 delinquent. How do you plead to that?
Guilty, sir. I was only out 60 days.
Yeah, that's okay. All right, and you ordered in 10/9/24 to enroll and complete the Teen Talent Program. You failed to enroll into the program after 3 scheduled attempts for orientation were dismissed from future attempts to enroll. How do you plead to that charge?
Not guilty. I got a doctor's excuse from when I was supposed to go. I was sick, throwing up, and
on all 3 occasions?
No, sir. The one time I did go, my parole officer had me thinking I was court ordered. But when I got there, I just did 4 years, sir. My grandpa was on his deathbed. So when I got there, they told me I wasn't court ordered. I was trying to get back home for my papa.
Yeah. But you were court ordered?
No, I was court ordered.
Okay. On 12/3/2024, an alternative 12-month program was found, and you got put out of that after 1 day because you brought narcotics in. How you plead to that?
Not guilty.
Okay. Tell me what happened.
When I got there, people was getting high and I just bad timing. But when they caught them getting high, I wasn't high, so I don't know how I got put out the program. But
All right, so I was assigned your case, as you could tell. So you went to the teen challenge, but they told you it wasn't court ordered, so you didn't have to go?
yes, sir.
But it was a special condition of your parole?
That's what my parole officer said.
Okay. What's your certificate? This in here. Let me see. I know they got your certificate in here somewhere. All right, and the drug, were you using drugs on the outside? Had you gone back to that?
Yes, sir. I've had a drug problem for a few years now. Yes, sir.
Okay. And tell me about this argument. I mean, what went on? Where did the guns come from? Why'd your buddy have a gun?
Oh, I don't know, sir. I ain't have nothing to do with no gun. I was just on the scene. But my boyfriend pulled a gun on him and shot, and then dude shot back. But that ain't got nothing to do with me, sir.
Did you stay around or you left?
I ran. I ain't have no gun. I ran.
Okay. All right. I have no further questions. Any of my board members have any questions, or you want me to go to the speakers first and then we'll ask questions? Let's do that. Miss Stacy Dennis, why don't you tell us what you want to tell us about your son?
I just wanted to let y'all know that the girl, Kaylee Brister, she kept trying to contact him even before he got home from jail. And I told her, she asked me where he was. I told her I wasn't telling her all that because their situation. When he got out, she kept coming around, and I was at work, but he walked to the store that night, and her and her boyfriend pulled in, and the boy pulled the gun out of the car and I guess shot it. But my son was not involved with the gun. Like, he had nothing to do with him having the other dude having the gun.
Okay. All right.
And as far as the teen challenge, I actually took him to it that one time. And when he got there, they told him that he wasn't court ordered because he really didn't want to stay there because his papa was dying, and he was trying to spend time with him, you know. So when they told him he wasn't court ordered, he got a ride back home. And as far as the other place goes, I wasn't there, so I can't really say what happened there.
Right, but he shouldn't leave teen challenge without calling his parole officer. I mean, that's bad on his part. Okay, thank you. All right, Mr. Jeremy Dennis. Mr. Dennis?
Yes, sir.
Okay, what do you want us to know about your son?
Well, a little background about it. The family that and the young lady that he's with have an incident with. We actually have gone to church with those people for years and years. How we ended up at this point, I don't know. Jaylen and Kaylee were young relationship, started out, innocently, school, and how we get to this point, I don't know. I've even had times to talk to her dad and see what we could do as far as services and things after the incarceration. The last time before he got out, we kind of understood where everything was and what was going on. We just didn't want anything to repeat again. And I've even talked to Jeff since then about, okay, what do we do this time so that we don't have any more incidents, so nobody gets hurt, so this type of thing never happens again. And I just think that a lot of times in the incidents that he's had, it's kind of been just put him away instead of what can we do to make Jaylen a productive member of society as well, not just put him away. In means of services and what we can do, myself, I'm willing to do whatever it takes. I've kind of gone through the system myself, and how Teen Challenge came about is because I'm a graduate of Teen Challenge. I went before the court and talked to the judge about it, and he uses my story and to talk to other people when they're in the courtroom. But I asked him to sentence him there because I had such a good result with it.
Program. I've got a question for you. It says his friend Joseph Vieira was the one that pulled out the handgun and fired at the vehicle, and then they came to the house and they found 2 guns. So it's kind of show me your friends and I'll show you your future. So is this person Joseph, is he obviously a bad influence? And it says he had the gun and fired. So how does he fit into all this picture?
Well, I grew up with Joseph, but Joseph wasn't a convicted felon or nothing. He'd never been in trouble before. He didn't do nothing but protect himself, man. Guy pulled a gun on him and shot. And then when they found the guns out of the house, they got his off of his that was registered to him, got him off his person. Then the other one they swabbed for DNA, and my DNA never came back on him, man.
And you're not supposed to be around handguns or guns. You're not supposed to be around any of that. You do know that, right?
Yes, man. I was just walking down the road. I never asked him if he had a gun on him. I was just walking to the store, man. I had no knowledge of it.
Okay. All right. Well, I was just wondering because it did say your friend, and sometimes your friends will get you into a lot of trouble.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to point out a few things in the narrative. Mr. Dennis did parole out on 8/12/24, and before he was detained, he actually had 2 positive drug screens in which he was ordered to treatment. One of the events, excuse me, the parole agent did a search of Dennis's cell phone messages in which multiple conversations were discovered of Dennis explaining how handling and possessing firearms, and in one thread, it was a exchange between he and an unknown male indicating threats to each other's lives. There's a lot in the narrative that indicates a little bit more about what was going on here. And I don't believe Jaylen is owning up to a lot of his choices by continued drug use and some of the things that came about before he landed where he is today.
Yes, ma'am. Okay. I'm ready to vote. Is the board ready to vote?
Yes.
Ms. Ledoux, you ready?
Yes.
Okay. All right, Mr. Dennis. I listened to everything you said today, and all I see is a street mentality. You haven't changed, and if you don't go to a place like Teen Challenge or something, you can end up dead. I can tell you. I just tell by your attitude and the way you talk about things. My vote today is going to be revoked. I find you in violation of condition number 4 and number 13. And while you revoke, I want the recommendation that you go to the Steve Hall program. Let's try to get you off the drugs first and try to get you a better program when you get out. So my vote today is to revoke. Ms. Ledoux?
I'll concur with the chairman and all recommendations. My vote is to revoke.
Ms. Carroll?
And I concur with the chairman that you are found guilty of number 4 and condition number 13, and the recommendation for Steve Hall. And as your father knows, we wish you to get back on the right path and stay on the right path.
Okay,
Excuse me, sir. Could I get recommended for work release?
they'll do you for work release at the end of your sentence. I don't know what your original charge is, whether you can go after 6 months or what were you? What was your original charge? Violent offense or not?
No, sir.
Okay, well, they'll look at that and you should be eligible for work release. But that's up to them. They got to determine the eligibility. So good luck.
That's what you thought. Some good thing that I asked you if you got with you. Yeah, see, they did repeats before us.
Really?
Yep. They didn't go in order.
So it shows you like.
That's why I hate this shit. I'm sitting
Okay, we're now at Jefferson Parish Correctional Center. My name is Pete Freeman. I'm the acting chair. To my right is Ms. Stapleton. On Zoom is Ms. Ledoux. As I stated, we're now at Jefferson Parish. Sir, would you introduce yourself?
Deputy Marlboro with the Jefferson Parish Sheriff's Office.
Okay, Deputy Marlboro, have you had any problems with the subject since he's been there?
No, sir.
Okay, thank you, sir, for having us today. All right, Mr. Gresham, please state your name and DOC number for the record.
Eric Gresham. Eric Gresham, 302-2221.
Okay, Mr. Gresham, do you have your parole questionnaire with you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you realize you're not eligible for appointed counsel? If you want counsel, it would have been hired.
Say that again, sir.
If you wanted representation today, if you wanted counsel, you would have to hire your own attorney. Do you understand?
Okay. Yes, sir.
Want to proceed without appointed without counsel?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Mr. Gresham, your case has been assigned to Ms. Ledoux. Ms. Ledoux, I'm gonna turn it over to you. You're on mute.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Gresham, I'm going to be reading out some allegations against you of alleged parole violations, and I need you to enter a plea of guilty, guilty with a statement, or not guilty. Condition number 2, you failed to report as required. The subject has not made contact with PNP by phone or in person since 2/9/2024, and his whereabouts were unknown until his arrest on 11/24/2025. How do you plead?
Guilty with a statement.
Okay, I'll get to the statements in a moment. I will note that you rolled out on 6/15/2017. Number 3, you failed to report an updated address after you moved from your address on record, and you made no contact with PNP since 2/9/24, so your whereabouts were unknown. How do you plead?
Guilty with a statement.
Number 6, you failed to report any information about employment to your agent.
Guilty with a statement.
You failed to report an updated address, and you moved from your address of record, and you have not been in contact since 2/9/2024.
Guilty with a statement.
And lastly, violation number 10, you are currently behind on your fees, $6,489, which looks like you haven't made any payments since your release in 2017. How do you plead?
Guilty with a statement.
Okay, so you have a lot to state on. So why don't you go ahead and
I'm
make
not,
that.
without going into all of it, you know, I messed up. And that's why I was willing, that's why I'm pleading guilty. I messed up, and I know I could have remedied all of this by just making the phone call, contacting the parole officer. But there was some things that was going on in my life at the time. My mom took real sick. Me and my wife separated. So, you know, there's just a lot of little things like that that was going on that just had me like in a tailspin, and I wasn't able to kind of put it all together. So just a lot of nothing, but it was a whole lot of stuff that I didn't know how to handle at the time. You know, so I know the difference between right and wrong. I'm 52 years old. I did 22 years in prison. I've been home for 9 years without any trouble. So I understand I messed up. I messed up. And that's why I'm willing to accept whatever the board has for me this morning. I'm okay with it. But I will ask the board to consider that I've been in jail for the last 160 days. And I have paperwork that shows that the violations that are listed in my bill of particulars at the time of my conviction, parolees were given I guess you can say a pass on your first or second time if for failing to report a change of address or paying your fees. So I would ask the board to consider the 160 days that I've been in custody and at least issue a reprimand or another part of the law says 10 days per violation or, something along those lines.
Okay, well, let me just point out a few things, and I'm not going to argue the law with you because the law today is very clear. Absconding over 90 days is not a technical, it is grounds for revocation. But during your period of supervision, you didn't exactly do well. You've had 3 administrative jail sanctions. After you stopped reporting February of 29, you were warranted in August, but it was not flash, but you were actually arrested 7/6/24 for theft, and then you were released. You weren't detained. And then you were arrested again and not detained. And then your warrant was flashed, and then we were able to pick you up. It doesn't matter if it was misdemeanor, it doesn't matter, that's criminal conduct. Okay. So I just want to point out that your time on supervision has not been in total compliance with what we would expect a third felony offender who had a life sentence to have to deal with. When you were arrested on that warrant, that was a PMP warrant, you did have 6 attachments from the Kenner Police Department against you, 3 in Jefferson and 1 in St. Charles Parish. So when you were picked up, you had a lot to answer for with other jurisdictions in addition to the probation and parole office. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Do my colleagues have anything to add or?
I have no questions. I think it's pretty straight and clear.
I don't have any questions.
Okay. Ms.
Okay.
Ledoux, ready to vote?
Yes, Mr. Gresham, at this time, my vote is to revoke your parole based on noncompliance with reporting in your supervision.
Let us finish vote. Ms. Carroll?
I concur with Ms. Ledoux that I'm gonna revoke you based upon non-compliance.
Okay. And my vote would be to send you to work release for 6 months in lieu of revocation. But it's a vote of 2 to 1 for revocation. So your parole today has been revoked. Okay, we're back at Jefferson Correctional Center. Now we're having the hearing on Thaddius McKee. Thaddius, my name is Pete Freeman. To my right is Ms. Stapleton, and joining us via Zoom is Ms. Ledoux. Will be your panel today. Please state your name and DLC number, Thaddeus.
P711-805.
I got out of the head. I grabbed it.
Okay. And do you have your parole questionnaire with you?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you realize you're not eligible for appointed counsel. If you wanted counsel, you'd have to hire it.
Yes, sir.
Okay, you ready to continue with your hearing today?
Yes, sir.
Okay, your hearing has been assigned to Mr. Ledoux. Mr. Ledoux, take it over, please.
Okay, Mr. McKee, I'm going to be reading out the 2 violation allegations against you and ask you to enter a plea of guilty with a statement, or not guilty. Condition number 4, on 12/7/2025, you were arrested by Kenner Police Department and charged with aggravated assault of a dating partner. On 2/23/2026, that charge was refused by the Jefferson Parish District Attorney's Office. How do you plead?
Guilty.
Allegation number 10, you failed to make payments towards your fees and you are currently $252 in arrear.
Not guilty.
So you just haven't paid since you've been
Oh,
detained?
Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay, Mr. McKee, the panel has been provided with the video cam of the officers investigating this allegation. And there remains in my mind, because of eyewitnesses, no doubt that an altercation took place. I'd like to hear your side of the story.
Well, it was over my phone. It was over my phone, and I just had she had came to my house and grabbed my phone. I was at my house when she pulled up with her sister, and she knocked on the door, and my phone was ringing, and she thought a female was calling me, and she grabbed my phone and took off with it, and then took it out of pants and tried to break it, and I was trying to get it. Then she started screaming, making a lot of noise to make neighbors think that it was more than what was going on. So I just started walking away. I never put my hands on her.
Okay, that's not what eyewitnesses say. Eyewitnesses say you ran in front of her, turned around and punched her. Okay. Okay. Phones and women get more people put back in jail, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
But she even said herself on that she blew it out. They blew it out of proportion. I wouldn't have never seen me touch her because nobody was there until she started screaming.
They were driving by.
They were just driving by. They never seen me touch her. She just blew it out of proportion, and when they seen her screaming, they stopped. And then I went the other way.
What is the current relationship between you and the victim?
We cool, but we don't talk anymore. Because how she died on me.
Did she recant in court? Did she say that it didn't happen?
Yes, ma'am. It's on the papers. It's on her.
Yeah, she has a little note in the file that she signed.
Okay. So what I'd like to were you working? So you got out in September. This happened in December. Had you found a job yet?
Yes, ma'am. I was working at Popeyes and I was working at Waffle House. My PO.
And you were doing pretty well with both of those?
Yes, ma'am. I started off at the Saturday bar, but then I started working on Popeyes on Loyola because it was close to my house. My PO was aware.
You know, Mr. McKee, I do believe that that there was some type of altercation that you could have avoided. Okay. I know you say she came to your house. You're the second class felon.
I mean, if on the paper, it got on the paper that I told her to leave the house. That she even said herself, I told her to leave when she came back.
Okay.
I told her to leave.
So, do either of my colleagues have anything to add or questions to ask?
Yes, I would, because I did see the video of just the citizen going down the street, and she made a statement, and she was willing to give the statement to police, and she said that she saw you strike the lady multiple times in the front torso with your closed hand. And that was so, and then yeah, that you took off running, which is what, but she saw it. And then we've got pictures of it right here, because the police took pictures of it, of her face, because she said it. So it's her face, and then she saw you hit her in the stomach too. So you did. She said it. Now she recanted, but then there was a witness that didn't have a dog in the fight. She's passing by, and she was just a good citizen. She was worried for this woman who was getting hit by you. And then she stayed for the police and gave a statement. So that makes you a dangerous person. Somebody had your phone, but somebody could take my phone and I wouldn't start beating them up.
I didn't start putting my hands on. I was just trying to get my phone, and I never put my hands on them.
Well, we got a picture of her face. Got a picture of her face. We got a witness that says other than that. So for me personally, the answer is no, you're not telling me the truth. I don't believe it, because we got eyewitnesses and we got physical evidence.
I mean, Jefferson Parish dropped the charge themselves without an affidavits.
Jefferson Parish did a good job on this because they had body cam, and then they took photographs. And I want to compliment them because the victim, they gave the Louisiana Victim Notice and Registration form too, and have it in their report. They did a very good job on this.
Well, but they dropped the charges. My charges have been refused.
Well, that was the DA. The DA did that. The police did that. They did their job, and that's what we've got right here. So, and you're denying it. So I guess our question is over. I don't have any more questions.
Okay, the panel have any more questions, or are we ready to vote? Ms. Ledoux?
Mr. McKee, you had an altercation that I believe resulted in concerning event, okay? I do think you put your hands on the person. She did recant. I would like to vote to send you to a transitional work program for a period of 6 months that has a domestic abuse, battery, or anger management class. You can't continue that kind of conduct while in supervision.
Okay, Ms. Carolyn?
Yeah, are you in agreement with what Ms. Ledoux said, that you will willingly attend a domestic abuse violence program?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I will concur with Ms. Ledoux.
Yes, ma'am.
Thaddeus, I'm also agree with her now. I'm gonna also order that you stay away from that woman.
Yes.
I didn't get her full name, but I want her full name in the record. That you're to have no contact with her upon release. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir.
Okay, all right. So today we're giving you a break. We're gonna send you to the work release program that has a class for either anger management or domestic abuse. And then we're gonna put you back on parole, and you have to stay away from her.
Okay, so I'm being released.
No, you're going to a traditional work program.
Okay.
Oh, excuse me.
So
Yeah, I'm being released or no?
No.
no, you're not getting released. You gotta go to the work program first for 6 months.
So it gonna be recommended that JP know that, right?
Yeah, JP will take you from there to the work program
And then I'll be released after that.
after that.
All right, yes, sir. Thank you.
Deals.
Okay, Pro Board is back in session. It's 10:27. We are now at the West Feliciana Parish Detention Center. My name is Pete Freeman. I'm the acting chair. I have with me Ms. Stapleton to my right and Ms. Ledoux on Zoom. Would Mr. Sylvest please introduce himself and state his DOC number? You're on mute. You're still on mute. Are y'all connected to audio? Is your volume up? Yeah, okay, 1 minute. I got. Okay, can y'all hear us now? Okay, y'all talk. Y'all can't talk. I got you. Okay, can you speak now?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir. Okay, please state your name and DOC number for the record.
Zachary Sylvest, 757502.
And ma'am, would you state your name for the record?
Bree Delaney.
Bree Delaney. Okay, thank you, Ms. Delaney, for hosting us today.
No
All
problem.
right. I'm gonna put some preliminary information into the file. Correct me if anything was wrong. You are a first-class offender. You have a parole eligibility date of 1/19/2026. You have a diminution of sentence date of 4/4/27, and you have a full term date of 1/19/41. You're serving 20 years for obstruction of justice. Does that sound correct?
Yes, sir. Other than the diminution date being 4 months shorter than what it's supposed to be, because I got my class now here, living in
So you'll
balance.
be out in January, is what you're telling me.
Yes, sir. It should have been. It was either living in balance or cage your rage. They didn't calculate all the way, and I just got my certifications in.
Okay, and you taking any other classes? Because that's gonna
No,
move
sir,
it
I
up.
got my full year good time at DCI when I was there.
Okay, all right. So your case has been assigned to Ms. Stapleton, so we're gonna turn it over to her to lead this investigation.
Okay, sir, will you tell me what was your role in all this? What happened?
Well, I was kind of in a situation here with the guy that I was dealing with at the time, and just wrong place, wrong time, really, in all reality. And I had to accept what I've done. I borrowed a vehicle, shouldn't have borrowed the vehicle, and ended up in the position I'm in.
Okay, that's vague.
Yeah.
That's
I
not.
don't know how else to.
So go back to the beginning and not wrong place, wrong time.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
because look, there was 2 first-degree murder I mean, this was a big deal.
Yes, ma'am, it was.
So why don't you start from the beginning?
Well, me and the guy was associated before through work, really, at the time, and then I went away from work. I was with my baby mama. Well, let me rephrase that. I was with a woman named Mariah. It was my son's mother, and we split up. I kind of had some fall offs on myself. I fell back into using drugs, and that's really what led me there, was drug use. And then, I really, like I say, really was in the wrong place at the wrong time. I'm not going to say I don't have nothing to do with the being in the place I was, but I didn't have nothing to do with the case itself as far as a whole, if you understand what I mean. But
what was your deal with the vehicle?
I borrowed it from the guy.
That's the obstruction of justice.
Yes, ma'am. I borrowed the vehicle from the fella that night to go to Lake Charles. When I borrowed the vehicle, I was pulled over the same night.
When you borrowed the vehicle, what did you say?
I said I was pulled over the same night. I made it from his house to Moss Bluff, which is about 15 to 23 miles, somewhere in that area, 20 something miles. And I was pulled over. When they pulled me over, I told them what happened, told them where I got the vehicle from, and everything I know as far as the case goes.
So you told them what happened. So you
I didn't tell them what happened as far as the murder case goes. I didn't even know there was a murder on the vehicle or a murder person at the time. I didn't even know. I really didn't even know, and that's the God's honest truth.
Okay, so how come they charged you with obstruction of justice?
I wish I could tell you honestly, Mrs. Stapleton. I don't want to say nothing wrong here, but I really, in all reality, was not involved in the murder itself. To obstruct the justice, they said that I withheld information because that wouldn't tell them that I got on the. They told me I wouldn't get on the stand and testify against Derrick, that I was withholding information, and that's what I've been doing my time for. Is they said I withheld information.
Okay,
but
so they believe you know more than you're saying.
Right. Yes, ma'am. Exactly. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so why don't you tell me about the different classes that you've taken?
I've taken. I can show you. I got digital literacy. I got my master's certifications in. While I was in DCI, I got all my KG Rage, living in balance, nurturing parenting. There's another one I can't remember the name of it, but I got my IC3 class, which, like I said, I completed. I got level 1, level 2, level 3, and my master's certifications in IC3. I think there was one more class, and I can't think of the name of it. There was nurturing parenting, KG Rage, living in balance, and one more. I can't remember the name. She's gonna look in the file right now and see.
Yeah, we find it. We have it.
What about pre-release programming?
Pre-release. I've been in workforce now since September, August of 2024. I've been working the same job with the same company since September of 2024, and I got a job with them as soon as I go home with the same company, with the same boat, same everything. I work offshore.
Okay, okay, that's great. Oh, there is a program. It's a 100-hour program, and it's called pre-release. Has that been completed? Because that's
I
one
haven't-
of the parole eligibilities.
I haven't, I don't really know. I don't know, Miss Stapleton. I've never heard of the pre-release program except for being in workforce and doing all my good time classes while I was in DCI.
They don't have it there. That's what it
Okay,
is.
yeah.
Okay, they don't have it there, so that's not your fault. Okay, I wanted to read to you, now this was in 2025. I don't know if people's changed their mind, but in 2025, this was the community attitude to you being released early, okay? Because just sentenced 5 years ago, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Arrest date was 2021, your sentence date was 2023.
See the arrest date? I was arrested August 8th of 2020.
That was the offense date, and the arrest date they've got, well, they may have it wrong. Let's just say 20.
How long have you served? How long have you served in jail?
I've been in since August 8th, 2020, day for day.
Okay.
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 All right. And so, and you got a 20-year sentence, am I correct?
Yes, ma'am. Correct. I pleaded guilty to it in court instead of going to trial.
Okay. So the judge said the court is opposed. This was obstruction of justice in a first-degree murder case. It would be a miscarriage of justice if the defendant was paroled at this stage without serving a significant sentence of incarceration in this matter. The DA, Jimmy Lestage, said on August the 4th, 2025, thank you for the opportunity to provide input. The underlying case here involves the inmate's co-defendants committing what was basically an execution of Jimmy Box. The co-defendants have been convicted of various offenses, including 2 of them receiving life sentences for murder. I'm opposed to any kind of relief from Mr. Sylvest. Justice would not be served by paroling him. Now, at the time, on 8/6/2025, Mark Harford of the Beauregard Parish Sheriff's Office said, I'm extremely opposed. So those were the comments. I did want you to hear that. Okay, so I'm finished with my part.
Okay, Warden, do you have anything to say? Has he been good over there? Any comments?
Yeah, just like he said, he got with us in August of 24. He started working in September of 24, and he has been offshore. He's not had any kind of disciplinary issues with us. All we've gotten is good feedback from his employer. So he's done outstanding with us.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. And how much money have you got in your account? Tell me that.
Right now, it's sitting in my account, probably a few grand, $few thousand.
What you been doing? Spending a lot of it or sending it home?
He sends a lot home.
I send it home. I actually just paid a down payment on a home just in case I was to today that I have my own place. I have a down payment and my own address, my home, everything as far as groceries in the fridge and everything. And just to be safe because I've been sending money home to my family. My dad passed away Christmas of last year, and he was really the one that was getting a lot of my money as far as like not taking it but holding it for me. I've been paying revocation. I've been paying my revocation off in Vernon Parish for the misdemeanor charges I've had. I've been paying that out of pocket right now so I can handle that. I've been doing everything right as far as it goes with the money.
Bad for the future.
Yes,
okay,
sir.
That's a good thing. That's what work release is made for. And so basically, your part was that the car.
Yes, sir. I'm not gonna.
And how was it used in the murder? It brought him over there, or it...
in the murder itself, I had nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I misunderstood you. I'm sorry. Well, I don't really know. They said that was the last vehicle he was seen in. That's all they had said. That's the last vehicle he was seen in. The vehicle was reported missing at the time. I didn't even know it was a missing vehicle, reported stolen. I didn't even know. I got pulled over. I borrowed it from the guy. The guy was not a good guy to be around. I will admit that. You know what I mean? I was in the wrong crowd. Yes, sir. But I definitely, as far as the vehicle being involved with the murder itself and me obstructing justice to the vehicle being a part of the murder, I couldn't honestly tell you because I still don't even know myself.
Okay. All right. I have no further questions. Ms. Ledoux, you have any questions?
Don't have any questions.
Okay, Ms. Callan, you want to vote?
Yes, sir. Look, based upon the statements by the judge and the DA, okay? And they were there, they were involved in the case, so I'm gonna honor what they said too. I'm not gonna grant you parole today. You got good time date of 2027, so you're fixing to get out anyway. And I think you haven't served enough time of a 20-year sentence, and it was a horrendous crime.
Let's go on and let Miss Olive Vernier speak, your sister. And I apologize, Miss Vernier.
Me too, I'm sorry.
Can you hear me?
Want to say on behalf of your brother?
I think that again, it was just the wrong place, the wrong time, but I think that he has learned a lesson to stay away from, certain crowds and certain people, and he's grown up a lot, and I don't know. I don't think it would be a bad decision, but it's all up to y'all.
Gotcha. Thank you, ma'am, for prayer today. How about Lori Sylvest? Miss Lori, what do you have to tell us about your son?
Hold on 1 second. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. Go and tell us what you want us to know about your son.
Yes, I mean, at the time that crime was committed, Zach was hanging out with a bad crowd and going through some personal issues. When he was pulled over in that vehicle, Jimmy Box at that time was a missing person. So that put Zachary as a person of interest. What he should have done was taken that vehicle to the police station, and that's what he's been told all along. He should have, if he knew that there was anything fishy going on with the vehicle, he got pulled over in it, and he did comply with everybody. He did actually give them information as far as who was involved in the missing person case, and they eventually were able to locate. But as far as him, he has owned up to what he's done wrong. He's been rehabilitated and clean from drugs and what have you. He's shown an effort as far as his work relationship with the where he's been for the past 18 months working on this barge nonstop. He's committed to straightening up his life, and he has support from his family and everything. So I'm the same way. I'm like, he was caught in the wrong time, wrong place, but I thank God that he was, because I would be visiting a cemetery right along with Jimmy Box. Gotcha. Because he was running with the wrong crowd. So I am blessed for the time that he was incarcerated and time for him to rehabilitate himself. But I do feel like he has served his time and he deserves a good chance at life.
Thank you, ma'am. We appreciate you coming on today. Okay, Miss Carolyn, I'm sorry I interrupted you.
That's okay. That was important. That was an accident, and I'm glad they both got a chance to speak. Well, clearly, when you get out, you have a loving family, and you have the opportunity for a new start in life. So I wish you well on that, okay? And go the same direction that you're going now. Today, I'm not going to grant your parole. I'm going to let you finish out. I think you only have not with good time 2027. You're going to be out shortly anyway. So, but the crime was a heinous crime.
I had nothing to do with Ms. Stapleton.
Okay. We got to vote. I understand what you're saying. Okay, my vote is Mr. Duke.
My vote is to deny parole. He is not able to take the pre-release before his good time date. It is a law and it's not available there. I would not want him to lose his job by being transferred somewhere else to take the pre-release. Ms. Delaney, am I correct that you do not have pre-release there?
We do not.
Okay. So it's really to your benefit, because you would have to leave your work release to get pre-release. So my vote is to deny. Your attitude doesn't look like you're happy.
I'm not happy because I really devoted myself to being a better person in sport, everything. I've just spent a lot of my money that I've made out here to make a home for myself because my family's not here. My mom lives in Alabama. My dad's passed away. I've been paying my revocation off to make it where I do go home and I'm not dealing with
You know
this.
what, you
Okay.
may need some counseling on how to handle this because actually
It's
this is
very, very
really,
overwhelming. It's very overwhelming that I just want everything that I've earned out here on a home just to have an address to go home to,
Got you.
just to have a proof
Let's
that
finish the vote. We gotta finish the vote. Okay, so that's 2 votes to deny. Your parole has been denied today. My vote, probably would have been the same just because I wouldn't want you to leave your job, lose your job. If I order you to pre-release, you gotta quit that job. Go do your pre-release and then they would send you back. And I don't know how that would work out. I do want to applaud you. You have done very, very, very well. And I think that's been missed in this hearing. And from reading it, I really couldn't tell your involvement. I still don't know what your involvement is in the case. But that's just me, and I'm not a lawyer. But that's the vote today. It's 3 votes to a vote. Do not put your head down because you're gonna stay at that job offshore. You're gonna be
just
able
lost
to
my
save some
home.
more money and you're going home in
I don't have a home.
January.
All my money just went to my home.
Okay. All right.
Everything I've made since I've been out here went to a home. They just hung up on me.
Okay, good morning. Time is 10:54. Parole board's called back to order. We're now at Ouachita Correctional Center. My name is Pete Freeman. I'm the chair. To my right is Ms. Stapleton. Joining us on Zoom is Ms. Ledoux. We're here to hear the hearing on Joseph Simpson. Mr. Simpson, would you please state your name and DOC number?
Joseph Simpson, DOC number 767-558.
Okay. Mr. Simpson, I'm gonna read some information in the file. If you disagree with something, we will talk about it after I'm finished. First off, you're a third class offender. Your parole eligibility date was 1/24/25. Your adjusted diminution of sentence is 10/24/31. And your full term date is 7/25/32. You're serving a 10-year sentence. Does that sound correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, your case has been assigned to Ms. Ledoux, so I'm going to turn it over to her.
Yes, sir.
She's on mute.
I couldn't hear what you were saying. I'm sorry.
She hadn't talked yet, Ms. Ledoux.
I'm sorry. I said, Mr. Simpson, you had a hearing last year in April, and since that time, you have taken some programming. I see that. You took Thinking for a Change.
Yes,
How did you
ma'am.
like that program?
I liked it. It was very, very helpful. Changed the thinking process, the thought process. It was a very, very good class.
Okay. You took only phase 1 of risk management. Are you going to take phase 2 of risk management?
I don't know why phase 2 is not showing up. I took phase 1 and phase 2. I got the certificate here.
Okay. That's good to see. I see you took some parenting things as well, which you are a father, so that will be helpful. One of the things I see is that you've been approved for a welding class in May. How do you feel about that?
I feel good about it, but the lady told me if I was granted parole that I could use my fast phone outside and attend the welding courses, from society.
Okay. Tell me why you're currently located at the Department of Corrections. What did you do and to get yourself here?
I wasn't thinking for a change. I broke into a place and stole a truck and a trailer and a tractor. And I'm very remorseful for my actions. I know it was the wrong thing to do, but I committed a crime, and now I have to, do the time to pay for the crime that I committed.
That wasn't the first time that you stole something, though, was it?
No, ma'am, it wasn't.
Because you have a history of theft.
Yes, ma'am. In 2012, I committed another theft charge after my grandfather passed away, and I kind of lost hopes on life, and I just started living a bad life and just started doing wrongdoing. And one day I woke up and I wanted to change my life, and I wanted to be a better person. I went to truck driving academy. I got my CDLs. I started driving trucks and started living a great life, helping people in the community, going to church, just doing the right things, helping people in the communities and doing things that a law-abiding citizen should do.
And then what happened?
I came to prison on this charge. I had already caught this charge. I was fighting it, going back and forth to court for 5 years.
Oh, it was 5 years from the time you committed the crime until you were sentenced?
Yes, ma'am. From it happened in 2017, and I didn't get sentenced until 2022. But from 17 to 22, I remained out of trouble and did right and did what I was supposed to be doing.
So you've served 4 of a 10-year sentence.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. We have your brother, Derrick Simpson, who would like to speak on your behalf. I'd like to give him. Oh, is he still with us?
I don't see him anymore. And also on my programming, I've taken a lot of self-help programs. I had a
I read
friend
those.
to email them to y'all. I'm not sure if y'all received them, but just
We
all,
did. A lot of that is just what you did was online e-learning classes, and I
yes,
think
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
most of them took you a couple of hours to do. I see
Yes.
all of them from April 22nd to the 2017th or something like that.
Yes,
You took a
ma'am.
bunch of little classes. Um, Staff, is Mr. Derrick Simpson still joining us, or?
Derek got lost. She's trying to call him back. Just one moment.
Okay. So when we're talking about programming, I don't see that you've taken pre-release. Have you, did they offer that at the institution?
The institution I'm housed at, they do not offer it here. However, I've wrote several prisons trying to get shipped there for a reentry course, the pre-release 100-hour.
Take care of that. I said we'll take care of that for you.
And I've had no luck, you know. But I have tried my hardest because I wanted to do everything and be right and do everything right.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, but I hate that if you're moved, then you won't be able to do that welding class, because I think the welding class will provide you with some skill and hope for employment. You have to be aware that your victim is opposed. How much in restitution do you owe? Did they recover all of their stuff?
They recovered all their stuff. I don't owe any restitution.
Okay. For any other cases?
No, ma'am, I don't owe any restitution for anything. However, I do have a pending case in Texas, but it's dealing with this same incident. And they told me that if I was convicted in Louisiana, that they would dismiss it or either they would resolve it. But however, I haven't been able to get it resolved. They say I'm in the state of Louisiana and they can't take me to Texas to take care of it. But they said if I was granted parole, I could come there and they would release me.
I don't see a detainer.
But he does have pending charges in Texas. He does have pending charges in Texas. I was on his panel last time.
Is there a detainer on that one too?
No, there's not.
Oh, I don't know if it's a detainer or not.
It's not listed in our file. I didn't see it.
Okay. Okay. I would welcome Mr. Freeman. Mr. Chairman, you know more about this.
He's done what I've asked since his last hearing.
Okay.
Brother's back on, so let's let him speak now. Mr. Derrick Simpson, what do you want us to know about your brother?
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
My brother is a great person. He's a great person, and his loss, being gone, not present here, as
we're losing you.
Because he has kids, and two of them are autistic and both of them are nonverbal, and so we are having a time of, getting them here, taking them to school, and we don't want anybody to mistreat them or and things. And my brother he's a great person, and he just got with the wrong crowd, and he made a horrible decision, and I hate that he done that. But he have learned, and I just pray to God that y'all our hearts just because we need him here. Reunite.
Okay, you're breaking it out, but I think we got the gist of what you're trying to tell us.
Okay, I'm sorry. Because this is an iPhone and I hardly know how to work it. I'm sorry.
About like me, huh?
Yeah, I don't know how to work it. They entice me to get this phone and I don't know what I'm doing.
Okay, well, we thank you for calling in and speaking on your brother's behalf. Thank you. Okay, panel's ready to vote. I'm ready to vote. Ms. Ledoux?
Yes. Mr. Simpson, you have taken very seriously what the panel said previously. I'm very grateful that you've taken the classes that you have. You do need to take pre-release prior to release. My vote today is to grant your parole after completion of pre-release, and they would have to move you and take that. Then also take care of the charges in Texas.
Yes, ma'am.
So that's my vote today.
Ms. Cowan?
And I'm going to concur with Ms. Ledoux. I do notice in the police report that the person that the truck and all was stolen from, Mr. Bryan, he advised that he did not want to pursue charges against all involved. So that's where you said you didn't know any restitution, everything was returned. Am I correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, I completely agree with Ms. Ledoux.
And like I said, I was on your panel last time. We asked you to go take some classes. You needed to serve a little bit more time.
Yes, sir.
I've done quite well with your time. You have children you need to go take care of. We're going to request that you be moved immediately to, well, as soon as possible to an institution where you can take that class. On completion of the class, you'll be paroled. And I don't even know of any special conditions I want to put on you. Besides, I want you to go to Texas and take care of that charge. But you let your parole officer know when you're going to Texas.
Yes, sir.
Okay? I don't want you to get in trouble there. Okay?
I'm gonna do right. You ain't got to worry about that. I'm definitely gonna do right.
That parole officer better be your best friend.
Oh, most definitely. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I believe you. So good luck to you, sir. You've been
Good luck
great.
to y'all too. Thank y'all.
Yeah. Go see if any of the wardens are up there too. Be nervous. It's okay. And even if they say no, we can figure out how you can take the class. We can figure it out. Just say that he's a good old boy.
My friend,
Is that everybody? Oh, you got a lot of people.
You ain't wearing a pearl snap, are you? I said, you ain't wearing a pearl snap, are you?
Okay, good morning. We're now at Southwest Correctional Center Transitional Work Program. Would you please state your name and DOC number for the record?
DERRICK HAYES, 707-421.
Okay, and who is in there with you? Anybody there with you?
Yes, Cheryl Cook from Administrative.
Okay, Ms. Cook, do you have anything you want to tell us about Mr. Hayes?
I can say that, we don't have any write-ups and not in years, and, he's a good worker. He's been, no trouble at all.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. All right, Mr. Hayes, I'm gonna read some information into the record. You can stop me, well, don't stop me, but after I'm finished, if something's incorrect, we'll try to get to the bottom of it, okay? Okay, so today you're here for your parole hearing. You have a parole eligibility date of 5/5/25, diminution of sentence date 8/7/27, full term date 11/3/47, and you're serving a total of 30 years. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, your case has been assigned to Ms. Ledoux, so I'm going to turn it over to her.
Mr. Hayes, please tell us the charge that led you to be incarcerated with DOC.
Fourth offense, DWI.
Fourth offense, DWI. Okay. Have you taken your substance abuse treatment?
Yes, ma'am. I took Living in Balance 1 and 2 in Cage of Rage.
Okay. When you were on the outside, did you ever have any kind of substance abuse treatment?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Why do you think we should allow you to parole early?
I got this letter. May I read it?
You may.
I stand before you today knowing I earned this 30 years. My fourth offense DUI wasn't a mistake. It was a result of my lifestyle and a dependency on alcohol that I allowed to spiral out of control. I endangered the community, and I'm very sorry for that. I spent the last 8.5 years of my life actively changing who I am. Programs like Living in Balance and Cage of Rage taught me the triggers about addiction. For the first time in my life, I understand why I drink, and I have the tools to stop it before it happens. I proved I can be a productive member of society. I work constantly in the workforce program since 2022. I just haven't been passing time. I've been building a future. I have saved almost $30,000 for my own labor to ensure that when I walk out, I'm never a burden on the state or person who feels desperate enough to return to my old habits. I know my history makes me look a risk in your eyes. That is why I have a reentry plan. My sister and my friend are here today. She is my designated transportation to my job and my AA meeting. I have a home and a job waiting on me. I'm not asking for a chance to go back to my old life. I'm asking a chance to begin a new one I've been building for 8.5 years.
Very well said. Tell me, where are you working in the transitional work program?
I work for trailer park, remodeling trailers.
And what do you do there?
Like if someone moves out, I go make the trailer ready for someone else to move back in.
Okay. And that's there in the area where you're from, because you're from Calcasieu, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I see you do have LaShonda Lewis, your sister, and Daniel Broussard, your friend. I will ask them which one wants to speak first on your behalf. Miss LaShonda, why don't you go ahead as sister?
Okay. Yes, ma'am. I would like to. I'm sorry about that. My name is LaShonda Lewis. I am Derrick Anthony Hayes' It's his sister. We're 11 months apart, so we're basically almost like twins. I would like to be there for my brother and not only be there to help him with what he has with the recovery. I would like to stand there with him. I've never had addiction like he had, but I would like to stand there and be there right on the side of my brother as he recovers. He's a very important person in our lives, and we need for him to be here, and I would like to guide him to the Lord too. That's what most important, for him to be able to accept anything that comes in his life from here on out. And that's what I don't mind helping him in any way that he needs. I will be here for him, and I'm going to support him in whatever he has going on. So, and I would like to get him into like a recovery when he gets home to be able to continue on with his recovery. Because in the world, it's a little different than being in there.
Thank you. Very well spoken. I'm glad you acknowledged that. Also, there's Daniel Broussard, your friend.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
You got me now? Yeah, I think he's changed, and I think he would do good out. I mean, from what he was whenever he went in to what he is now, it's totally different. You know, he hasn't been in any write-ups or fights or conflicts or anything like that since he's been in there. And before he went in there, you know, that was pretty much unheard of, you know, like his behavior and everything. It's changed him for the good for sure. I think he's learned his lesson. And far as back and forth, I mean, he's got a ride anywhere he needs to go, place to stay. He's got everything he needs in between me and his sister.
Thank you very much for your support. Mr. Hayes, what was the highest level of education that you completed?
11th.
11th grade. Have you received your GED while you've been in?
No, ma'am. I was in resources school, so.
Okay. And so have you taken any trades or anything? You haven't taken any trade program?
No, ma'am. In prison, I worked with the dogs. For 3 years, I worked at the dog pen, and it trained. I learned a lot there, but I worked for a galvanizing place for 2 years here before I started with the trailer company. So my trade of carpentry is pretty good. I'm pretty good at carpentry and construction and stuff like that. I did it most of my life.
Okay. Is there, ma'am, the staff member, I'm sorry, I didn't get your name. Do you have a pre-release program within your facility?
Yes, ma'am, but it's just hard for the workers to get to it, to take the class.
Well, that's required for release. Okay. So, Mr. Hayes, I just want to note that all of law enforcement is opposed to your release. And I think you understand why. Because of the risk to public safety. One of the I believe it was a judge that was contacted, said, based on the severity of the offense, continued incarceration protects the public safety. And I think that was very well put. Would either of my colleagues have any questions or for the offender?
Well, I just continue a little bit on with what Ms. Ledoux said, because I was reading the district attorney. His response was, we are opposed to early release of this defendant at this time. His history shows severe alcohol abuse problems, which makes him a danger of reoffense very high. And then the chief of police said, given the severity of the offense and the offender's significant history, we would advocate for continued incarceration in order to protect public safety. And we know that, alcoholism is a disease that you have to fight, and it's with you all the time, everywhere you go, and alcohol is served everywhere you go, so it makes it very, very difficult. And you have, and it's true, it's a public safety issue, but you're doing so many good things, and I think the work that you did with dogs probably, was that in Angola or DC?
Elaine Hunt.
Elaine Hunt, okay, well, and I think that is a fabulous program. In fact, a long time ago, I bought a little lab from DCI, that had been part of that program. So I think that helps people out, but like Ms. Ledoux was saying, the pre-release is required, so you're at Southwest Correctional Center, is that correct?
Workforce in DeQuincy, yes, ma'am.
Yeah, they're gonna have to make sure you get that program, because it's more important that you get what you need to get out.
Yeah, it's not available for workforce though. For workers.
We'll address that at the proper time.
Yes. So, but listen, your letter was well written, and it wasn't just a canned response, and I want to thank you for that. And I want to thank you for all the hard work you're doing so that you can get out the money you saved. I do want to compliment you on all that.
Okay. If there's no further questions, is the panel ready to vote?
I am.
Okay, let's vote.
Mr. Hayes, today my vote is to deny parole. You have a good time date of August of 27, and that's if you don't take any more classes that earn you credit. But based on the severity of the crime, my vote is going to be to deny. I'm glad you have some plans though, and I hope your sister is successful in getting you in continued treatment when you are able to go home.
Ms. Ledoux?
And I concur with Ms. Ledoux for the same reasons.
And my vote would have been to grant parole conditional on you completing the Steve Hall program, but you've already got 2 votes against you. So we need to get him in that pre-release program so he can get out in 27. I'm sorry today to let you know that your parole's been denied. I voted 2-1.
Yes, sir. I thank y'all for letting me come.
Call me.
Morning. My name is Pete Freeman. I'll be the chair today. On my right is Ms. Carol Stapleton, and joining us on Zoom is Ms. Ledoux. We're here for the parole hearing on George Washington. Mr. Washington, please state your name and DOC number for the record. You're on mute. Okay, go ahead. Name and DOC number.
George Washington, 769200.
Okay. And Mr. Washington, you're here for your parole hearing today. I'm gonna read some information into the record. You tell me if you think anything is wrong and we'll look at it. First off, you're a first felony offender. You have a parole eligibility date of 4/25/22. You have a diminution sentence date of 5/23/27, and you are serving a 9-year sentence. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and is there anyone in the room with you?
Just an officer.
Okay, would they state their name, please? Officer, please.
Is L. Orgy?
Okay, all right, so let's get started, Mr. Washington. I want you to tell, well, first off, let me know on the record that we have several people here today, well, on Zoom today. We have Tamika White, 21st JDC Victim Assistance Coordinator, Michelle Sparks, 21st JDC Felony Supervisor. Speaking will be Alexis Taylor, 21st JDC Assistant District Attorney. We also have Attorney Caitlin Costa, also 21st JDC. Also Haley Maxon, the victim, will be speaking, and Brittany Maxon, the mother, will also be here, but will not be speaking. We will get to the speakers at the proper time. So after we conduct the hearing, after we get some information, we'll let y'all say what y'all want us to know. Okay, Mr. Washington, I want you to tell me, what did you do to get yourself put in jail? And why do you think we should let you out today?
Well, I'm accused of, I think the charge was misbehavior with a juvenile or something like that. And, you know, I mean, I accept my fate. I've done my time. And if I'm allowed to go back into society, I tend to not be in that type of area and that type of situation anymore. I plan to get 2 jobs like I was working at first, you know, before I got locked up. And that leaves for less idle time.
Okay. Now you said you were accused of, so do you deny the accusation or do you?
I mean, I denied it in the beginning, I denied it in the middle, and I denied it at the end, and it didn't do any good for me to deny it because, you know, it is what it is. I just want to put it behind me.
Okay. All right. I was assigned your case, so I'm the one asking the questions. Did you ever take any sex offender treatment?
No.
And why not?
No one told me I had to. Did I have to take some while I was locked up?
No, it's just highly recommended that you take sex offender treatment when you're incarcerated for a sex offense. Where are you going to work?
I want to go back to my old job, which is mechanic work. But I haven't been able to get in touch with them until I get out.
Okay, and where are you going to live?
I'm going to be living on Hood Road in Hammond.
Okay, who are you going to be living with?
That's my cousin Lucy.
Okay, does she know all the requirements that have to take place if you grant it? That
Yes.
Got
Yes,
the
sir.
register as a sex offender and all of that stuff.
Yes, sir. She knows all that.
Okay. I mean, tell me what you've done in prison to make me, I don't see a whole lot. What have you done? What classes have you taken?
Well, they haven't given me any classes. When I was in my parish, in TADDEUS Parish, they had me scheduled for a class, and then they ended up shipping me here to Union Parish Detention Center.
Do they offer classes at Union?
I'm not sure. I've asked about it, and no
Do
one
they
gave me a.
Max, that deputy. Do they offer classes there, ma'am?
For work release, I think they have classes for work release.
Right. Okay. I think they have some classes. Okay. There is very strong law enforcement opposition to this case. I wanted to note that for the record. Also, as you see, there's other opposition. I'm going to go to the opposition now and let them speak. And then upon completing that, I will let let's let my colleagues now. Do y'all have any questions for him?
I'm gonna have some questions whenever people finish speaking. I can tell you that right now.
Okay. Well, then we'll wait till the end then. Let's go to the speakers. Let's go. I don't know who wants to speak first. Mr. Taylor, Miss Taylor, I'm sorry, Alexis Taylor. So y'all decide whether you want to speak or you want to let the victim speak first.
The victim can speak. Miss Haley can speak if she's prepared now.
Okay, Miss Haley.
Yes, ma'am, I'm prepared. Just let me know when you guys are ready.
We're ready. Please, ma'am, give us your statement.
When I was 9 years old, I was taught a devastating lesson that you can't always trust the people around you. Sometimes it's a random stranger on the street staring at you provocatively, or it's the man who started living with you and your mother that always proclaimed his love for God and recited Bible verses. One moment he was giving me life lessons and making it seem like he was going to be a father figure to me, and the next he's putting his hands in my pants and stripping my childhood from me. The only life lesson George has taught me was to not trust so easily. I have seen 8 therapists, have been prescribed 3 different medications, have been hospitalized, have self-harmed, and have considered suicide at the expense of a sick man's pleasure. On May 21st, 2018, I was diagnosed with a sexually transmitted infection known as TRIC. The DA refused to have him tested on the belief that the sexually transmitted infection could also be caught from wearing someone else's bathing suit or the use of a public toilet seat. I don't understand, because if he tested positive, which I believe he 100% would, I highly doubt he would have contracted that from wearing one of my bathing suits. My mom tested negative, so I doubt I would have gotten it from a toilet seat either. So what would this information tell you? By not having him tested, I automatically felt failed. However, releasing him would be an even bigger injustice, not just to me, but to any other little girls who have suffered at the expense of another man's pleasure. If it is decided for him to be released, I feel acceptable conditions to his parole should include mandatory cognitive behavioral therapy, anti-androgen medication to decrease his sexual desires and hopefully refrain him from doing this to someone else, and absolutely no contact from him to me or my family. Due to George's actions, I have seen my loved ones cry, filled with anger. Before this, I was a little girl that played outside, climbed trees, and rode my bike. And now this little girl that my family knew is gone. I'm now 19 years old, diagnosed with PTSD, major depressive disorder, and generalized anxiety disorder. Now my biggest goal in life is to protect my innocent 3-year-old, 4-year-old son from monsters like George. I genuinely hope the right decision is made. I don't believe I was George Washington's first victim, and if released, I doubt I will ever be his last.
Thank you very, very much. Extreme courage. We thank you for that step.
Thank you.
Let's hear from Ms. Taylor now.
Good morning. So the DA's office, we stand opposed to him being released. Of course, I was not the prosecutor on the case at the time back in 2018. I am making an appearance for this parole hearing. After having reviewed the file, I do think the defendant has been given enough breaks, especially in light of the harm that he has caused to this child victim, Ms. Haley, who is now an adult. But as she stated, based on what I've seen, she contracted an STD. Ms. Haley, I do apologize that nobody compelled him to be tested. back in 2018. But she contracted an STD, and not only that, she did provide a victim impact statement stating that she did not wish for him to see the light of day after the particular incident. Now, he came in with the charge of molestation of a juvenile under the age of 13. That carries a sentence of a minimum of 25 years to 99 years. Okay. That charge was then amended to indecent behavior with a juvenile, which carries a sentence of, I believe, at least 5 to 25 years. Okay. The defendant was sentenced to only 9 years. So I do feel as though he has been given enough breaks. Again, in light of the harm that he has caused to this victim, frankly, he should have gotten far more than the 9 years that he got. So the state is opposed to him being released on parole early.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Appreciate you attending today. Okay, we're back to you. I have no further questions. So I'm going to turn it over to my colleagues.
Okay, first thing I'd like to say to Haley is you are so brave, and the courage that it takes to come forward as a survivor and tell your story. There is no telling how many other girls that you helped today. I want you to know that, because I've never heard a child that was a victim of rape or molestation that hasn't had the same results that you do. That the PTSD and the distrust and all the things that goes along with it, and the counseling. So I just want to tell you that I thank you so much for your brave come here today and speak your truth. And then the ADA, that you also supported her in what she said. I think that takes a lot of courage too. And I want to thank you, Ms. Taylor, for doing that. And I want to ask you, Mr. Washington, with your hands crossed, and then you said that it was misbehavior and that you will do better with your idle time. What do you have to say about what you just heard? I'd like to hear that.
I mean, I feel a lot of remorse for the past. There's nothing I can do about the past. I have to look forward to the present and the future to find a way to not only ask for forgiveness through her or her mom or her family, but to ask for forgiveness from the court, and I ask God for forgiveness, which He already forgave me, and try to move forward with my life.
I just wondered what you had to say after hearing the consequences and the results from your victim. If you had a different outlook on it. I don't really think you do. Okay, that's that. I don't have anything else to say.
Okay, anything from you, Ms. Ledoux?
No, sir, I'm prepared to vote at the appropriate time.
Okay, well, I'm gonna call for the vote. Since it was my case, I get to vote first, and my vote is to deny victim and law enforcement opposition, and I do not think you accept any responsibility. So my vote today is to deny. Ms. Ledoux?
My vote is to deny based on lack of acceptance of responsibility, lack of programming, victim and judicial opposition.
And Ms. Carolyn?
And mine's the same as both of my colleagues.
Okay, today your parole has been denied. Good luck to you.
All right, thank you. God bless you all.
Good morning. Well, good evening now. Parole board is called back to order. We are now at Franklin Parish Detention Center. We're here for the parole hearing for Mr. DONCAURUS Harris. I don't know how to say your first name.
Yes, sir, that's correct. DONCAURUS Harris.
Okay, and what's your DOC number, Mr. Harris?
7725554, I believe. I don't know it off the top of my head.
It's how about 7255558?
8.
Get them all right for one.
Yes.
Okay. All right, Mr. Harris. Let me get to your paper, your page. Here we go. All right, I'm gonna put some personal, some information into the record. Correct me if you think I'm wrong, and we'll go back and talk about it. First off, you're a first-class offender. You had a parole eligibility date of 8/29/17. You have a diminution of sentence date for 6/6/2027. You have a full-term date of 6/6/2027, and you were serving a 15-year sentence. Does that sound correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. How many years have you served on that 15-year sentence?
I've served for 13 going into 14 now, sir.
So 14 to 15 years. Okay, and I want you to tell me, what did you do to get yourself put in jail? And why do you think we should consider letting you out today?
Well, sir, I had made a mistake in life, sir. I had came to jail because I was on a charge of indecent behavior with a juvenile. I have indeed pled guilty unto said charges, and throughout my time of being incarcerated, sir, I have indeed been into the reentry program. I've also filled out for the GED program as well. The GED program had got shut down up here in Franklin Parish, but I have indeed tried to fill out for all the classes and things such to that nature that was credible or available to me at the said time being. I say that I've been doing my best to rehabilitate myself to stay out of trouble and to be respectable unto the authorities that have been placed over my head. I've done my best to do the right thing. I've not been getting into any trouble. I have been reading. I have been studying. I have been trying to keep up with the updates that have been going on into the set world of time frame. I say that as for right now, I know that I have learned my lesson. I'm doing my best not to become a repeat offender. I say that I'll be doing my best to pay whatever fines that need to be paid, and I've sent my sincerest apologies to the family and the loved ones, to anyone that I have offended, those who have lives I have changed. I am truly, deeply, deeply sorry about my actions. They will not be repeated again.
Okay, and do you admit to the charge? You do admit that it did happen? I'm not gonna go into the specifics.
Yes, I admit to the charges, sir.
And what kind of effect do you think that had on your victim?
It was life changing. I admit that it was indeed life changing. I say that indeed I was not in my right state of mind at this point in time. I'm not making excuses for myself, sir. I am not trying to sugarcoat anything that I've done. It was my choice to do drugs and things of such that nature that caused me to make bad decisions in life, but I'm still deeply, sincerely sorry about the effects that I have made on people's lives. As far as the family, as far as the people that was involved in the said situation at hand, that was all my fault.
All your fault, okay. All right, and I do want to note that we have opposition from the victim's mother. You do have a heavy law opposition. You did score a 5 on your static 99, which is extremely high, which the highest you can score. Did you take any classes? Have you taken anything?
I've taken reentry in the Quincy in Beauregard Parish. I was, as I've said, I was in the GED program up here at in Franklin Parish. I was also in the another class that was up here, a victim class that was up here as well. I didn't get a chance to finish it. It got shut down before I could finish it. They had started the STEP program inside of the said facility. And I have not been able to finish the said classes.
Were you on drugs, alcohol at the time this occurred?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Freeman, I think he took 2 of the sex offender phases, but was removed because of disciplinary from finishing the 3rd.
Is that correct?
Yes, sir. Somebody had did something inside of the cell that I was in, and the whole cell got removed from the class dorm of F dorm. Everybody was written up, and I was kicked out of class. It had nothing to do with me. I was just in the cell because that was the cell that I was living in.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. I have no further questions. I'm gonna turn it over to my colleagues. Y'all have anything y'all need to ask?
Mr. Freeman, you made note of the static 99 score, which I believe is is the highest score I've ever seen, which is a predictive evaluation of risk for reoffending sexually. So just point that out.
Yes, ma'am.
And I'd like to point out also that you had multiple child victims. And that according to the DA, that it was pled down. You got to take a plea bargain. Am I correct?
Yes, ma'am.
I also would like to point out that alcohol and drugs does not make people do that kind of crime. There are tons of people that are alcoholics and drug addicts. And I'm telling you, you could put a baby stark naked in front of them or a child, and they'd say, somebody can put some clothes on this child. So that has nothing to do with what you did. So just in case in your mind, that's what did it. Now you need the sex offender classes. That's what you need.
All right. Is the panel ready to vote? I think the panel's ready. It's my case. I vote first. I'm caught in a quandary here. The 5 scares the death out of me. And the thing is, if I wait till June, you get out and you have no supervision. So all your reporting would be on your own to the sheriff's office and to all of that. And I don't know, in my mind, I feel that it would be best if I let you out a year early and have you under parole supervision to where they can make you do all of the stuff you got. I'm also gonna order electronic monitoring on you, and you're not to leave the house, but for sex offender classes or for work. And you are to stay away from the victim. And like I say, I'm doing this because I think that way would be better for public safety. At least we know you got to go to the classes, else they're gonna pick you up. And in that electronic monitoring. But that's my vote today. To grant with electronic monitoring and all other conditions that we apply.
Mr. Freeman, does he meet the standard in terms of education? I'm trying to figure that out.
I'm not sure. That's what when they put no education and they put in A, so
Okay.
yeah, they put that he had to take, and see he's got to do all of that before they're gonna let him go.
They got substance abuse now.
Yeah, he's got to get
education
substance. But that's they have to look at that and decide if he's got to do before he can get up. But that's my vote. Okay. As I said, Ms. Ledoux.
Mr. Freeman, your you're spot on in terms of your logic on this one. I believe that this offender is a risk to public safety and should be followed. However, I don't think he meets the criteria for release, and I don't think he can get it in time. So my vote is to deny parole.
It's up to you, guys.
Okay, first of all, I would say victims with an S, because I got notice here from a DA, and he said defendant is now only 38, young enough to reoffend. He also sexually assaulted another young female child to this incident. He was charged with indecent behavior with a juvenile, but pled down to misdemeanor simple battery. Given probation, would never he was given probation, but would never sign up. He was not arrested for an entire year on probation warrant. He will do this again. That's from the DA. So it was not one victim. You have several child victims. So today, for your risk to public safety, I like what Mr. Freeman said. I agree with it, but it doesn't seem like you care based upon this. So I'm not going to take the chance. Mine is going to deny.
You have 2 votes to deny and 1 vote to grant with special conditions. So today your parole has been denied. Good luck to you. We are signing off at 12:09.